660 AM The Answer.
Hello there. Welcome back to Ladies Can We Talk? This is our second hour roundtable, and tonight I have with me my good buddies, leading ladies, Mari Sullivan, Lori Medina, and we have on the line a woman candidate, a candidate for United States Senate, Dr. Kelli Ward. Hello.
Hi, Debbie. It is great. I am so glad to be here with you tonight. Thank you for having me on. I look forward to talking to you ladies.
Oh, we're so glad you're here. Last time you were on, you were so much fun to talk to. Honestly, we're just so glad you're doing this. Well, you know what? We're going to try in this segment to hit three kind of areas, and I'm going to start just by asking you, because a lot of the show tonight has centered around what is happening with the Syrian refugees and the battle in Congress, and President Obama wants to bring them here, and a lot of Americans are saying, I don't think so, and there's a battle legislatively. So where do you stand on this whole question of bringing Syrian refugees to America in light of what's happening in the battle with ISIS in the Middle East?
Well, I think that we really need to put the brakes on this. We do not have the proper vetting processes in place, and we saw what happened in France. They didn't have the proper vetting processes in place either, and they had tragedy and disaster and mayhem. And I do not want to bring that to the United States. And so we need to put the halt on this, put the brakes on, because bringing people in that we don't know what's in their heart, what their plans are for this great United States and the lands that we're so blessed to live in, with so much charity and love in our hearts. People want to help people from across the country, but right now our government needs to do its job and protect the American people.
Well, you're with it. We're with you on that. We actually spoke in the first hour with Congressman Louis Gohmert, who expressed many of the same sentiments. Yep.
Congressman Gohmert is amazing. I've met him a couple of times, and he is wonderful. And I wish more people had the heart and the backbone that Congressman Gohmert has.
Amen to that.
Hey, Dr. Ward, this is Lori. I've got a question for you. If you are elected and you beat John McCain and you walk into the Senate, the question is who are you going to align with? Who are the people in the Senate that you aspire to stand shoulder to shoulder with and fight the battles?
Well, Lori, it is great to talk to you and great to meet you here on the phone. I would tell you, I really look up to the people like Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Mike Lee, Senator Rand Paul, the people who have gone to Congress, gone to the Senate, and have truly represented the will of the people that elected them, the people that have had the backbone to bring the hard things forward and to stand firm on their convictions and on their principles. Because I've seen other people like Senator McCain fold, not represent the people that put them there. And we have to get more conservative reinforcements into Washington, D.C.
Okay,
if we expect
Dr. Ward,
a different outcome.
Dr. Ward, you had me at Ted Cruz, okay?
You know what? I don't know if you saw my email, Kelli, and I know Mari has the question here, but
Fantastic answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Someone months ago on your staff told us about Periscope, and so we got Periscope. So I don't know if you saw, I sent an email to your assistant, I think, today saying, hey, we have this on Periscope the second hour.
Wow.
So we were all doing the touchdown when you said Ted Cruz, because we're all so fond of him.
All right.
Anyway,
I'm glad. Hey, Ted Cruz has an app that he uses in his campaign, and there's going to be a Kelli Ward app out there soon. So I hope you guys will go look for it in the App Store, because it's a great way to keep in touch and to let me know what people across the country and across this great state of Arizona that I'm in really care about and what they want to see happen in Washington, D.C.
We will watch for that.
That's fantastic, Dr. Ward, that you're tapped into the pulse like that. And I am very concerned about our foreign policy. I'm very concerned about the Syrian refugee crisis. And I am curious if you have had time to think through some of these huge foreign policy issues and what your take is on how we can perhaps create a safe zone for Syrian refugees in Syria so that we eliminate the refugee crisis.
Yes, you know what? I am 100% behind that. I've been reading a lot about the refugee process, asylum process, the migration process, legal immigration, all those kinds of things. I am becoming very well versed, and one of the things that I read was that it cost about $64,000 for us to relocate a refugee from the Middle East into the United States. But if we are able to make those refugee camps more hospitable, more safer for the people who are there, and we keep them within the Middle East, it's only going to cost a little over $1,000 per refugee. So if we really want to get the best bang for our buck, we need to make those refugee camps safe for people. We need to make them hospitable. We need to make sure that the people that are actually being persecuted, Christians and Jews, are given priority in our country for refugee status should we need to bring someone to the United States. Because you and I both know that those people, the Christians and the Jews, are the ones that are being tortured, that are being put into cages and caught on fire, that are being beheaded, that are being crucified, all of those things. And those are the things that we as Americans need to be looking at in terms of who needs the most help and who needs it the fastest. And the people that are of Middle Eastern descent, there are many of them that could stay right there with their culture, with their language, with people that are very like them. And once that war-torn region becomes more stable, they'll be able to assimilate back in much more easily than if they come to our great United States and don't share the language, don't share the culture, and are headed for a life of poverty and despair. And I don't want that for anybody. I think that they will have a much more prosperous life staying where they are.
Yes, I totally agree.
That's a great answer.
Okay, so my question, Dr. Ward, this is Lori again, is a campaign question. And back in 2010, I was working with a bunch of Tea Party leaders in Arizona when there was a challenger taking on John McCain. And the gentleman lost, as you know.
Yes.
But the big thing that I kept getting from all the Tea Party folks there and the leaders in Arizona was the fact that the senior citizens in Arizona were so committed to John McCain because of his POW status that there was just no way that they would ever vote for anyone other than John McCain because they felt like they owed him. So my question to you is that still a problem for you? How are you dealing with that? How are you overcoming that? How are you getting the senior vote that is so committed to John McCain?
Oh, Lori, I will tell you, I'm so glad that you asked because I am all over this state. I will tell you that just this week, I was in Yuma, which is in the southwestern side. I was in Tucson over in the southern part and the southwestern side in Cochise and Santa Cruz County, over in Yavapai, which is in the middle. And there are a lot of senior voters that are there, and they are tired of it. They just like me, believe that 30 years in Washington, D.C. changes a person. And I know I wouldn't be taking on this challenge if I didn't think it had changed Senator McCain. And so they are revved up and they are ready for the generational change to occur in Washington, D.C. I like to say they're ready for a new BFF. And I don't mean a best friend forever. I mean a bold, fresh, fearless voice that is going to truly represent
Love that. Love
That's
it.
right. That's right. Represent AZ and DC, not DC and AZ, which is what we're getting right now with Senator McCain.
Wow, that is a great. I love that. I'm trying to remember that BFF. I like that. It's funny. If we were not in the middle of this big mess with ISIS in the Middle East and all the struggles with radical Islam, we probably would have more conversation in our campaigns about Obamacare and about the changes in the healthcare system. And you are a doctor, and in fact, don't you have practice with your mom? Aren't you and your mom?
I did for 10 years, and my mom just retired. She's a pediatrician. And now I just work in the emergency department here in rural Arizona. And so I see the good, the bad, and the ugly of Obamacare. And I used to say there was some good, but I think there is hardly any good at all. But there is a lot of bad and there is a lot of ugly. And that's why I came out with my first policy initiative. You're going to see a lot of new, bold, fresh, fearless ideas coming from me during this campaign, something that you don't see from Senator McCain. The first one is the Patient Power Plan, and you can read it on my website, kellyward.com, but it basically fully repeals Obamacare, including all the taxes and regulations. That saves our country billions, if not trillions, and it puts the power back where it belongs. It takes it away from politicians and bureaucrats and insurance company executives, and it puts it back in the hands of the patients, because we as patients deserve to be able to choose the health care that we want and we need, rather than having to settle for the health care that the government is willing to give us.
I love that. That is exactly where I was going to go. I happened to read, I think it was on Breitbart, an article about your patient power plan. Yeah.
Power. Yeah.
And I'm really glad you are talking about it, because it just occurred to me, we seem as, if we're focused on the news, we get drawn in by the latest story, and the Paris attacks happen, and everyone kind of, and myself included, you kind of forget there are other really big issues. And I really think it's been helpful in Congress to have people who are doctors, who are trained physicians, who are not speaking in the abstract about how regulations and changes will impact the practice, but speaking from their own knowledge. So I love that you're focusing on that issue.
Yeah. Yes. Well, just this week we saw United Healthcare, the biggest healthcare company really in this country, who I feel as though Obamacare was written for. It's written for them. They have tentacles into every aspect of healthcare. And they came out this week saying that they think they're going to pull out of Obamacare because it doesn't seem to be a system that is able to stand on its own financially. I want to say, I told you so. I told you so. And so that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that fall apart on top of itself. And so we have to have other options out there so people get the health care that they want and need and don't depend on the government to give it to them.
I love it. We are speaking with Dr. Kelli Ward. She is currently an Arizona state senator running for United States senator in a primary against John McCain. Kelli, we're going to wrap up this segment, but could you tell our listeners how to find out more about you and how they could donate to your campaign?
Oh, I would love for people to join me at KelliWard.com or on Facebook and on Twitter. On Facebook, it's Kelli Ward for Arizona. On Twitter, it's Kelli Ward AZ. And the important thing to remember is that it is Kelli with an I, because I care about the people. And they can get in touch. They can find out about me. They can find out more. They can watch videos. They can hear me on the radio and on TV shows and all those kind of things and see, because I think that people are looking for a well-educated, well-spoken, down-to-earth, Constitution-loving woman to go to Washington, D.C. and set things straight.
Amen, sister. Okay.
Love
Dr.
hear
Kelli
that.
Ward, thank you so much for
Love it.
calling in.
All right, ladies, have a great night. It's great talking to you, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks
Hope
so
so.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Dr. Ward.
Okay, we're going to zip off to our break. This is it's 6:60 a.m. The Answer. Ladies, can we talk? This is Debbie Georgatos with my leading